Packers beat the Bears 28-21 in Lambeau. It had my butthole puckered. I will keep it real. That second half was a whew. But the big number from this one, I think, is 59%. That was the play action rate for Caleb Williams in this one. Basically, it didn't seem like I've gone back and forth on this, whether it was Ben Johnson didn't trust him in the drop back passing game, where on the day he went 5 of 13 for 42 yards, or if the game script was such that why not boot him? Why not utilize play action? Pretty much, like I said, 59% is an outlandish rate for a game that they trailed the entire time. Or if it's just like that was your best avenue of attacking this Packers defense. And it's hard to argue. Caleb is so dangerous on the move, so dangerous with space to work with, that why not? But man, it just, even the final 2-minute drive, it felt like they were doing anything possible to not drop back past that game.
I think it's more the Packers defense is really good, and instead of Ben Johnson not trusting Caleb Williams, it's more Ben Johnson not trusting Ozzie Trapilo at left tackle. It's more not trusting that offensive line. And you could tell when they tried to go drop back in this game, I think it was one of the first plays that they tried to go drop back in this game. It was third down. Micah Parsons is lined up over Jonah Jackson, and it feels like Jonah Jackson is like watching a ghost. And Micah Parsons goes right past him, and Caleb has to escape the pocket, and he throws it away. So I think in this game, they had to do a lot of play action simply because that offensive line was not going to hold up in standard dropback situations. And Caleb Williams is a better athlete than I think a lot of people give him credit for. He was running away from a lot of Packers players. Especially, it's especially impressive given the speed that the Packers have on defense. But he was running away from a lot of guys. He was making things happen outside the pocket. So when you had that going, plus the offensive line looking the way it does in standard dropback situations, you might as well lean into what works. Lean into the ground game, lean into the play action, and just let Caleb Williams go out there and just do stuff.
Yeah, they really ground this one down in the second half. 90 rushing yards on 19 second half carries. And again, that was them down the entire second half. The 2-minute drill is interesting, though. That final play, as soon as he threw it, I said no. I thought it was going to be a touchdown because, to me, everything else in front of him was like was a good option. So I'm like, if DeAndre Swift's a good option, if you running is a good option, I think DJ Moore was behind Swift in the flat, looked also like a good option. If all those were good options and you take the downfield one, I was like, oh, the downfield one must be wide, open. And I think it was for a split second. He was late to it. Keyshawn Nixon obviously made a good play, but that play by Caleb Williams, I think, was just an unforgivable mistake in that situation, in my opinion.
That's also the play that they scored the touchdown on against the Eagles, where they have everybody rolling to the left and they throw the big hero ball play to Cole Kmet. And I think Caleb Williams said after the game, he was trying to give Cole Kmet a chance to go make a big boy catch. Like, go put it up. Go put it up off the glass and let Cole Kmet come down with it like a rebound. The problem is he put too much air under it, and he underthrew it by a mile, which allowed Keyshawn Nixon to get back into the play. So I think if he put a little more air under it, that's a touchdown. But it's also like, it's great scouting by Keyshawn Nixon, and also one of the margins that you play with when you're constantly rolling outside the pocket, constantly making off-platform throws is sometimes you make it happen. Sometimes it looks beautiful. And sometimes, it ends like that. But I think for most of the game, when he was outside the pocket, he was making some really, really nice throws. There's still, again, I'm worried about the general inaccuracy, which I would hope to be fixed by this point in the season. I mean, we're in week 14 and we're still saying, Caleb's head's in the right place. He's just not accurate. But it feels like they're moving in the right direction. This game was physical. This game was tough. It was gritty. It feels like the Bears are moving in the right direction, but the Packers just have too many force multipliers on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see when the Bears get And now Calvin Montgomery behind that offensive line. He is one of my favorite running backs in the NFL to watch, but he's not a big play threat, so to speak. He's going to grind out those tough yardage. I'm curious to see what this offense looks like in the future when they do get a dynamic number one sort of running back behind it. But right now, this kind of, I don't want to say confirmed my priors, but this is kind of how I felt this game was going to go. I thought the Packers were the much better football, not much better, but the better football team, the better, more consistent offense, the better defense in terms of having more of a pass rush to affect the opposing quarterback. And yeah, the Bears had the much better running game, but if it got to a situation where Caleb had to fall on him, I trusted the Packers defense in that situation. And I think that's just kind of where this Bears team is in the pecking order right now of the NFC. I just don't think they are up there with Rams, Seahawks, Packers. Yeah, they beat the Eagles, but like, I just don't think they are in that echelon, that tier one, even if, they are still a very, very good football team this year.
And when we think about the Rams, Packers, Seahawks, even the Eagles, they also can get pass rush. They also can force your quarterback to play poorly.
That's my biggest thing. Yeah.
And in this game, to flip it to the Packers side, Jordan Love was awesome after that interception. Like on the interception, it was every interception that Jordan Love throws is the dumbest interception you'll ever see. But then after that interception, I think it kind of locked him in because he was shredding the Bears. And especially when they played man coverage, which was my biggest fear, was when Jordan Love would play again, when the Bears would play man coverage, when they would blitz because they can't get pass rush, Jordan Love would shred them. Against man coverage in this game, Jordan Love went 8 of 10 for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's unbelievable. That's one of the best numbers I've seen in a game this season. And it's also not even the best number that Jordan Love has put up this season against man coverage. When you look at how he plays against the blitz in this game, Jordan Love was also really, really good against the blitz. Jordan Love in this game was 8 of 11 for 126 yards and 2 touchdowns against the blitz. So every time the Bears blitzed, they played man coverage behind it. And every time it felt like Jordan Love would find answers. It feels like his command of the offense, like I've said this entire season, his command and his growth within the offense has been on display this entire season to where it feels like he has fully become like he owns the keys to this car of the offense. The Bo Melton touchdown was such great design and such great execution, but it's the Christian Watson one where they're bringing the house and Jordan Love signals to Christian Watson. I thought Tom Brady did a great job of saying like he's putting up a hand signal for Christian Watson to run the slant because you know what he's going to get. You know what they're going to get. So he throws that slant and he runs away from Chauncey Gardner-Johnson for a touchdown. Those are the kind of plays you expect from one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. It's making your receivers, making your offense right, even when you don't have the right answers to start with.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with this year's Packers team. I don't think the defense of Micah Parsons is a huge difference. But to me, the biggest difference is Jordan Love's command. And especially of late, like here down the stretch, he has been and looked like a guy who can lead a, top 3 offense in the NFL. I think for stretches in the past, he did, 2 years ago, that final stretch of the season, but we just didn't see it last year whatsoever. I think this year, quite obviously, I think they are still the best passing attack in terms of EPA per dropback in the NFL. He has just looked, like I said, the command this year, and then the accuracy too. He's not missing near the throws he missed in past seasons. And now with Jaden Reed back, the full confidence really at his disposal every single play.